Hi guys, thanks for coming back to Comic Book Lounge. Today I'll be reading and reviewing Knull issue number 2. Quick recap of issue number 1. Knull is slowly gaining back his powers. He stole a ship from Hela, the goddess of death. He thinks he's escaped, not knowing that this was her plan all along. She wants him to gain his full power, so she can steal all his power. So then she becomes the new Queen in Black. To ensure that this goes according to plan, she calls on Thanos to help her. Now, with this backstory, we continue with Knull issue number 2. The setting is the Sanctuary 5, planet Feral in low orbit. We see Thanos standing on top of his ship looking down. Narration: even from this height, he sees them, his lost children, his outriders, genetically engineered parasite assassins. They are the ultimate hunters and apex predators of the harsh world of exile. But with no remaining prey to consume, no remaining enemies to conquer, they have become like the present planet, barren and devoid of purpose. Deprived of their proper guidance to channel their violent instincts, they succumb to the madness of self-destruction. They struggle and strain against one another, heating a burning inner drive they can neither control nor suppress, just as their maker intended, as Thanos intended. We see Thanos with a grin speaking, "Captain Lin Ka." "Yes, my lord." "Maintain your current position," and as we see Thanos jump off the ship, he says, "Await orders to land. I have family matter to attend to." Thanos lands with a thud in the middle of his children, his outriders. They all look at him confused and still at first. Thanos, with outstretched arms, yells, "Come, children, embrace your father." Narration: although they are not of his loins, the outriders' conception and birth were most certainly products of Thanos' desires and will. Truly, in all the ways that matter, they are his progeny. We see Thanos punching, kicking, burning, destroying his children with ease as the narration continues. And like their sire, they are predisposed to an insatiable urge to attack, to overcome, to destroy, to draw first blood and last. But while they are slaves to this destructive urge, he is its master. He is their master. One of the outriders raises his arm and says, "Please, no more. We yield, father." The outriders are all lined up, bowing to him and surrender to his domination. Thanos, with a smile, says, "Indeed, now we can begin." We cut back to deep space. We see Knull's ship. We see Knull sitting in the pilot's chair, talking to himself and his symbiotes. Knull speaking, "We are drawing nearer to our destination, my children. Sensors indicate we will arrive shortly, and diminished as I've become, it will be quite possibly the final stop on our journey, and such a frustrating, ponderous journey at that." Knull gets up, stares at his own reflection in the window, and continues, "There was a time, children, before my great fall, when the cosmic abyss, its myriad fury stones and blazing columns, were mine to traverse in the blink of an eye. When the infinite darkness was my kingdom to rule, my only enemy, a perverse reflection of my tenebrous existence, the cursed god of light." We now cut back to Knull's past. We see a scene of an all-powerful Knull, delightfully awaiting to battle the celestial knights that were bringing light into his dark kingdom. He continues narrating, "Created by the celestial interlopers to be my diametrical opposite, the god of light's sole purpose was to despoil the sanctity of my living void. From the very beginning, this bodiless creature of living light cowardly injected its putrid essence into weak-minded proxies, forcing those same incarnated puppets to inject its infernal brightness into my fathom dark. I could not, would not allow this." We see a soldier of light scream, "Prepare to attack," and Knull gleefully screams, "Prepare to die." He continues narrating, "And so for billions of years across the expanse of space and time, we waged war in heaven." We see a chaotic scene of Knull fighting the army of light. We see Knull fighting the soldiers of light one by one and defeating them as he continues narrating. For millennia, my opponent spread its light powers far and wide, relying on an overwhelming numbers to destroy me, stretching its forces thin, making it a futile strategy at best, simply more for me to kill. Eventually, the God of Light realized its tactical folly, choosing instead to focus its power into a single champion, a formidable golden knight wielding a spear imbued with a living brightness. The All-Light called it hubris, call it habit, call it what you will, but this new threat did not to sway my attack. Gripping all black sword tightly in my hands, we see Knull clashing with the new knight. I charged headlong into the battle. Knull continues. An unstoppable force met an immovable object, shaking the heavens and shattering the cosmos. And there we lay, inert and senseless on this wretched soil, on a nameless planet. And that was when he came, the would-be butcher of gods. And so both victorious, both defeated, we fell, we crashed. We see Knull piercing the knight's armor as the knight spears Knull's shoulder, and blood is spilling into space. And in their entanglement, they crash onto the planet, still trying to kill each other. Now, they're both on the planet. They continue to fight, but not consumed with the world around them. We see another alien, Gorr, appear, and Knull continues. Gorr, Gorr, the petty thief, who maliciously stole all black from my near lifeless hands. We see Gorr takes Knull's symbiote body while in the midst of the fight. Knull continues. Gorr, the weak, who newly transformed cravenly absconded with my firstborn to undertake a fool's quest. Gorr, the insignificant. We cut back to the present with Knull on the stolen ship speaking, whose nameless word we now return to. Knull, controlling the symbiote, says, "Look there, my children. This is where the first of your kind were formed, from my own two hands, after I'd recovered from my battle with the Golden Knight. A dead place of dried bones and lost hopes. That new life should originate from such a graveyard planet." Knull lands the ship on the planet and walks off the ship. The planet is aglow as we see Knull shielding his eyes from the bright light. He says, "The light, it burns." Speaking to his symbiotes, he continues, "I know you feel it too, my children, just as I feel you slipping away from me. Please forgive me. I do not wish your sacrifice, but I must push forward. The weapon I seek is yet here. Even in my weakened state, I sense it. We stand at death's door, children, and our last remaining chance at survival is to turn to the light." The King in Black is walking across the wasteland, eyes fixed on the horizon's glow. We cut back to Midgard. We see Hela is watching Knull walking across the desolate land as she says to her general, "Look, there, the fool is literally disintegrating in the light." As we see Hela slowly absorbing Knull's symbiote as she says, "While I grow even more powerful in the dark." Such delicious irony, don't you think, good Tyre? She continues, "With each small step, Knull takes nearer to his false salvation, brings me one giant leap closer to my full potential." The general responds, "Perhaps, Lady Hela, but despite the impossible odds against him, your nemesis continues forward. Knull has proven to be extraordinary obstinate. He may yet reach the prize he seeks." Hela cockily responds, "The prize he seeks only because I wish him to. Do you mean that prize? Know this, General. Knull is but one pawn in the game I play, and like all the others, he moves only in the direction I dictate." A stern general confesses, "You may be correct, my queen. Knull has become but a shadow of his former self, and yet he remains an unpredictable enemy, and sometimes the more an enemy loses, the more dangerous they become." We cut back to Knull on the planet. He is weak and tired. He's resting against a stone as he speaks. "Need to stop, just for a moment, need to rest." Knull tenses up as he hears voices say, "The night villain is here, just as father said." Knull whispers to himself, "Be ready, my children. This planet is not as dead as I believed." Knull looks up and we see the top of the rock formation that two of Thanos' outriders looking down at Knull. as they say, "We serve." As Knull asks, "Who?" the two Outriders quickly jump and attack Knull. The Outriders attack, but Knull still has the advantage. He's able to split one of the Outriders in half with his bare hands as he screams, "Not while I still own the shadows." The other Outrider knocks Knull down and quickly pounces, but Knull is ready. He speaks, "I know not where you originate from, monster, but here is where you will die." He grabs a stone in his hand and with all his remaining strength punches the beast in its head. We see the Outrider's head explode as Knull hears more Outriders coming his way. Knull has used most of his strength now, as we see an army of Outriders standing in front of him. Knull whispers to himself, "Too many, and I am too weak." Knull turns to run away. He's able to kill some single Outriders as he says, "Almost." All of a sudden, we hear a voice say, "There you are, void creature," as Knull stops in his tracks, shocked by who it is, as the voice continues, "Come for your trophy, have you?" "Too late, I'm afraid." Knull whispers, "No." It is revealed it's Thanos. He's holding the light spear with the Golden Knight dead at his feet. Thanos continues speaking, "This weapon belongs to Thanos." And this wraps up Knull issue number 2. I'm already counting the days until issue 3. With Thanos entering the fray, things are about to get cosmic here. Thanks for hanging out at the Comic Book Lounge. Do yourself a favor, hit up your local comic book shop and grab these issues before they're all sold out. Thanks again. Bye.